Welcome back to the Foul Line. I'm your host, as always, Connor Black. With me, Wyatt Allison.
Hello.
And back on the show for the third time, I think, Wyatt Hole.
What's up?
And, we're just going to get right into it. So, I think if the Mavs come back in the 3-0 series, they win in 7, Curry's legacy is heavily affected, and he can't be considered the greatest point guard of all time anymore.
I would agree because I think the stat was 146 times that the deficit has happened, and it's never been come back on. So I would agree. And plus, to be the first one in NBA history, and you're Steph Curry, you can't let that happen.
This would be twice that he's blown a lead like this. I mean, he was the first person to blow a 3-1 lead. Sorry, first team to blow a 3-1 lead. Now he could be the first team to blow a 3-0 lead. Obviously, it's only 3-1 right now. Like, Warriors should easily end it next game, but I think the Mavs can do it. I mean, what do y'all think? Y'all think the Mavs can? Do y'all really think the Mavs are going to win in 7?
I say they win 2 games. They win one more after this, and then they're done.
So, Warriors in 6.
Yeah, Luka can't carry that long.
Yeah, I'd agree with Wyatt because Luka, he's having to carry so much. I think it's physically going to take it out of him. Like the constant chasing guys around screens, all that stuff to carry the load offensively. Even though, to the team's credit, last game his team made 23s, so it proved that when his other teammates are on fire, that he doesn't have to do as much.
I mean, you got to think though, like the Mavs aren't an inside team at all. They're a straight shooting team, so basically they live or die by the 3.
Right.
And we've seen that in the past 2 series. They beat the Suns because, well, don't get me wrong, they played great defense on the Suns' best players, but they were hitting some crazy shots against them. I mean, contested threes, fadeaway threes, wide open threes. They were playing basketball. They were playing some real basketball, but the only person on that team that really gets to the bucket, 2 guys, I guess, is Luka and Spencer.
Yeah.
And half the time, Luka passes it out, which makes me angry.
Yeah, it would be so much different if he had, say, like a Jeremy Grant or somebody like that who was athletic and a lob threat. They could put the pick and roll all the time. Something like that. Just a different element, another big body. Because Cleveland's not athletic, and Dwight Powell is just there. Like, he doesn't do anything spectacular.
Well, I mean, what was his name? Bullock. He went like 0 for 13 last game, and that's why they lost, I feel like.
And then last night, he makes 6 or 7 threes, and they win.
And Luka drops 42 in a loss, but like 32 in a win.
Yeah, you'd think it'd be the other way around.
I think the Mavs can pull it off. Like, if they do it, it's not going to surprise me. If they lose, it's not going to surprise me. But I do think that if the Warriors lose, Curry probably can't be considered the greatest point guard of all time anymore, or even top 2. But that means who's going to move ahead of? That means who's going to move ahead of him, though.
You don't think he'd still be top 2 if he loses?
No. I had Isaiah Thomas at 3, so I think maybe he goes ahead of Curry and Curry drops a 3.
Right.
Because doesn't Isaiah have 2 rings?
Yes.
The 88, 87, 88, and 88, 89.
And the thing with Isaiah is he was one of the only few players at that size to really carry a team to a ring.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like,
So,
I think
Curry would be 3 at worst.
Also, I think if they lose the finals, it hurts his legacy also.
Yeah.
Because Curry doesn't have a finals MVP, but he has 3 rings.
But he also has 2 MVPs, 1 unanimous.
Yeah, but how do you let Andre Iguodala win a finals MVP over you?
I still think that should have been given to Curry.
Oh, it definitely should have, but it didn't.
Right. I mean, it's like Caden Thomas said in our last episode. It ain't a thing without the ring.
Yeah. All right, our next up here. What if the Mavs do pull this off? How does that? Okay, first of all, do y'all think Luka at the end of his career has a chance to be one of the greatest players of all time, like top 5?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, if he wins this finals after a 3-0 lead comeback, do you think he has a chance to be the greatest player of all time eventually in his career?
I mean, sure, but I don't know that. I mean, 3-0 by in itself is crazy. Like, if he was to do that in the first round, that's just crazy anyway. But the fact that he would do it, and he's, 23? And like he said in the press conference a couple nights ago, he's still learning. Like, that should be terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, he said it himself, like, it's easier to score in the NBA than it is overseas, so, and he's proving that. He's getting 30 every night. Mm-hmm. Nobody's guarding him. He makes everybody look like a cone, as Pat Bev would say. I mean, what do you think, Wyatt? What do you think, Wyatt Hole? Like, do you think that if Luka pulls this off, like, and then continues to just build his resume, do you think he can eventually be the greatest player of all time? Or does this definitely, like, help him get to that level?
It definitely helps him. I've been saying for a couple of years now, and I even told you this, I said that Luka has top 5 potential.
Yeah.
Like, he's a player that the game has never seen before. Someone who is a big body, like, what is he, 6'7", 6'8"?
I think he's 6'7".
6'7", over 200 pounds, but he's shifty and can get around, create his own shot, and he's proven multiple times that he can be a clutch player. So where if you're down 2 or down 1 in the fourth quarter, you give him the ball and he can pull it out for you. And he's a revolutionary player. And
the thing is, like JJ Redick said on what was it, First Take? Is that what he's on?
Yeah.
They were like, I think it was, I can't remember who he was arguing with, but he was like, Luka doesn't make the players better around him. And I was like, and JJ said, he has a bunch of undrafted players and second-round guys on his team, and he's got them this far, like, and they're shooting incredible numbers. How does that not make them better?
Right.
Like, that's a terrible take.
Yeah, I'll make this comparison. This will sound weird because some people may not know this. So in 2015 in the NFL, Carolina Panthers went to the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Cam Newton wins the MVP.
Yeah.
He takes an offense with a bunch of no-name receivers and a kind of a lower level running back. Takes them all the way to the promised land. And, like, he didn't win the Super Bowl, but the fact that he got them there in the first place with a lot of guys who the only real weapon he had was his tight end, Greg Olsen. But he did it. And he did it and he blew a lot of guys out. He made a lot of good teams look horrible with those guys.
Yeah, I mean, you almost look at it as like the Russell Westbrook MVP season. That's a good comparison. That team was terrible. I mean, they didn't get out of the first round, but just the fact that Russ led that team to the playoffs, and Luka, I think this team is probably, if you look at them on paper, the Thunder team looks better than this team. I
really?
think. Yeah, on paper, just looking at those names. Just looking at the names, yeah, the Thunder look better, I think.
But at the time, Oladipo wasn't an all-star.
Okay, but I'm saying is, he was still a known player. If you took the 2017 Thunder and you put all their roster on a paper and put the Mavs roster on paper, people are going to look at that and be like, yeah, this Thunder team's probably better.
I mean, I guess. Okay, let me ask you this. You think if you switch, and obviously Luka wasn't in the league at the time, you put Luka in Russ's spot, do they go further or do worse?
I say about the same. The league was crazy at that time. There were so many. The Rockets. That's who they lost. They know who they lose to. The Rockets.
Rockets.
That Rockets team was good.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't they go to the Western Conference Finals?
Yes, because that was the year they blew a 3-1 lead to the Rockets to the Warriors.
Yeah, that Rockets team was crazy good, and I think the Thunder got one game. Was it one game? They went. So I mean, yeah, I'd say Luka probably does the same.
I could probably see that, yeah.
And if he does make it past the second round, or make it past the first round, he's not making it past the second round.
Oh, hey, no way. Not that time.
No, but yeah, I think on paper that Thunder team probably looks better. I mean, Steven Adams is going to look better on paper than Dwight Powell.
Oh, duh. I think Jeremy Grant probably looks better than Kleba.
Terrence Ferguson probably going to look better on paper than any of them.
Was Ferguson really a big part of that team, though?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he was starting small forward that year.
Or was it? Because it was Russ, Oladipo, Adams,
Grant,
and
Ferguson, I'm pretty sure.
Maybe it was Ferguson.
I
just remember him coming in 2018.
He's not even in the league anymore.
I know, for some odd reason, he gets hella athletic.
Diallo was on that team.
Yeah. Canner.
Was Canner was on that team?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember him being on that. I don't remember him being on the 17-18 team.
He was.
Yeah. I thought he left like the year.
Yeah, I thought that's the year he went to the Celtics.
I'm pretty sure he was on that team. Anthony Morrow was on that team. Anybody who watched that Thunder team in that time knew that Anthony Morrow was a bucket, but he just never got past.
We still had Anthony Morrow that year?
Yes, because he never played. That's why people always will ask that, but he never played. But anytime he did, he got buckets.
I remember him being on the team when KD was there, so I guess he was there an extra year. We had Kyle Singler.
Yeah. Worst haircut in NBA history.
Nah, bro, that's definitely Brian Scalabrine.
White Mamba.
The GOAT. Anyways, so what would you rank Luka in the league right now?
Like of all the current players?
Yeah.
Man. I would say... Okay, so...
I say 3. Four. Yeah, 4. I say... Go ahead.
Jokic, Embiid, Giannis, Luka, Jayson Tatum.
KD's not top 5 in the league?
I mean, he just got swept in the playoffs. I wouldn't say so.
Jokic got beat in the first round.
But they're two different things. KD had Kyrie.
Okay. No. We're not talking about team wise. You're saying KD's not top 5 player in the league.
Okay, so then you put KD over Jayson Tatum.
Honestly, I'd take out Joel.
Joel?
Yeah, that's just my thoughts.
The scoring champion? Guy that maybe should have won MVP? To some people?
I don't know. I think KD's a better player than Joel Embiid. You're crazy.
What you think, Whitehall?
I have Luka at 6 in the league right now.
You think KD's top 5 in the league?
Yeah.
I think Giannis, I'm sorry. Obviously, Jokic won MVP, but I still think Giannis is a better player than Jokic.
Yeah, Giannis is better all around.
I mean, you put Giannis and Jokic in one-on-one. Who's winning?
Giannis.
Jokic is deceptively really strong.
Okay, but Jokic is a good team player. We're talking about just best player in the NBA.
It's probably Kevin Durant or Embiid.
I'd say Giannis. I'm going to give Jokic the edge because he won MVP. And then KD. And then I think Curry needs some respect, to be honest.
Let's see what Curry's numbers were.
So I think Curry's 4, and I'll put Luka 5.
Curry was 25.5, 6, and 5.
On your list, Connor, I would put Tatum at the 5 and Luka at the 6.
Yeah, I think I got Tatum at 6. I mean, he's a great player, but the Celtics didn't start off too great this season.
Wow.
No,
Not at all.
But they had probably the best turnaround of any team.
Yeah.
I think after the All-Star break, we only lost like 5-6 games.
I thought that was like 7 games.
Something crazy like that, yeah.
All right, moving on. Is this Jimmy Butler's last chance to make a run at a ring?
No. Not last. It's one of it. Not
Okay, last
He still
run.
has so much in.
Last run with the Heat to win a ring.
No.
You think that he still have a chance next year?
Think so.
Yes, and here's why. I think they'll realize that Kyle Lowry wasn't worth what they signed him to, so they'll try to trade him and get younger and more help for Jimmy.
Okay, I personally don't think Kyle Lowry was a bad pickup.
He's not, but Lowry, so even when he's been healthy, hasn't been great. He was in the regular season.
Okay,
sure.
but nobody in the Heat this series has been great besides Bam.
Bam wasn't great in Game 4.
Okay, I'm saying, but not Game 4, but Game 3 he went crazy.
Because he had to.
I mean, I just don't think you can put the Heat's failure right now on Kyle Lowry.
No, but that's why they brought him in, because he's won a championship before, and he's arguably the greatest player from his franchise's history.
You said the greatest or one of the greatest?
No, he is the greatest player in Raptors history.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
That's so wild.
How was that wild? Who was better than him in the Raptors? And it ain't Vince Carter.
That's crazy.
Don't tell me that. It's not.
Vince, DeMar.
No, Kyle Lowry's over DeMar.
DeMar DeRozan's the leading scorer in Raptors history.
And Lowry's the better all-time defender and a better all-time playmaker.
That's crazy.
Lowry won a championship.
Bro, because of Kawhi?
Yeah, because of Wyatt.
Lowry was really good in that series.
I mean, he was, but Marc Gasol and Kawhi kind of went off. Even Siakam was going crazy. Bro.
But here's my point. That's why my point is the Heat brought Lowry in because he's got the winning culture, right? He's done it before. He's been in big games. Even though Butler has been in the playoffs many times, none of the other guys besides the
Hey, PJ Tucker's a champion.
Yeah, but not to the level. But I'm saying he's not as important as Lowry probably was.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I don't know. I think if the Heat get eliminated next game in 6, I think Duncan Robinson's going to get traded.
Yeah, I don't know what has happened to that man.
He can't play defense. He's too much of a liability.
I know, but even just offensively, it's bad.
But he doesn't play enough. To play good, you have to have some type of reps.
It's true.
So I think they can trade Duncan, maybe trade... I think Kyle Lowry would probably be their last move to try to trade. I don't see them trading him immediately.
Do you think they bring Oladipo back or let him walk?
I think they should bring him back 100%. I think if they trade Lowry, I think they would trade Duncan and Lowry to clear up cap space to sign Victor.
You think if they do that, does Oladipo start or does Tyler start?
I don't know. I think they're both great players. I think Victor obviously is a better player all around, but Tyler's young, has better legs.
It's true.
Victor is injury prone at this point.
What you think, Whitehall?
Honestly, you were saying that Duncan Robinson doesn't get enough playing time to prove and get better with like show what he can do. But I mean, they were using him tonight. They had a game plan for him, everything. go off the pick and pop from Bam, which it was working pretty well, but I mean he wasn't hitting some of his shots that he could have hit. So I think they keep him for, I don't know, maybe another year.
Well, he is.
See what he can do.
He signed a 3-year deal. Was it last year? Or no, the year they won the final. It was after they won. After they went to the finals, he signed it 3 years. So yes, after this year, he'll have 2 years left.
Was it like the most money
No.
for an undrafted player?
Yeah, he'll have a year left after this year, so they can trade him. I think he's a team option. I don't know if he has a player option. Hey, I doubt he has a player option.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
I doubt they give Duncan Robinson a player option.
I think they keep him. The game plan that they have set up for him tonight was working pretty well, and if they use that next year, he probably make the most threes in the season just off that pick and pop.
Yeah, I think he signed like
you were way off, buddy.
What?
His contract. He signed a 5-year, $90 million contract.
They must have gave him an extension because when it first came out, I swear he signed like a 3-year, $66 million deal.
He get $80 million of that is guaranteed.
He must have got an extension because his original contract was a 3-year, $66 million deal.
Maybe. That's a lot. You can't be paying him that much for him to sit on the bench.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: if this is Jimmy's last run with the Heat,
hold on. I just thought of something. Hold on. You know who just is getting paid a lot of money just to sit the bench?
Is it a big name?
Yeah.
Is he playing right now, or is he sitting?
Sitting.
No, I mean, or has he been eliminated?
They didn't make the playoffs.
My mind keeps wanting to say Ben Simmons, but that's not right.
John Wall.
I forgot he was even in the league, to be honest.
I
haven't heard
think
anything about it.
He's top 3 highest paid player in the league right now.
This might sound crazy, but if the Heat trade Duncan and Kyle Lowry, they can probably free up. If Victor takes a minimum, they can probably free up space to take John Wall at point guard.
Would you rather have Kyle Lowry or John Wall?
John Wall. I think John Wall would fit great with the Heat. They like to get out and run.
Man, John Wall is. I think all of us can agree. When John Wall is healthy and has his mind to it, kid's special.
Yeah. He has like the craziest layup package ever.
His athleticism is ridiculous.
Besides like Kyrie, but.
Right. Okay, so my question was, if this is Jimmy's last chance to win a chip with the Heat, and I think he'll have 1 or 2 more years after this year.
Yeah, he signed a 5-year.
Yeah. So, what team? I doubt he asked for a trade because Jimmy's not. I don't think Jimmy's the type of guy to really do that. Even though I think he did that to get to Philly.
Yeah, I mean the Timberwolves sucked.
That's true. But they were, they were so underdeveloped. What other place do you think Jimmy could win a chip?
Philly.
What is it?
I think he wants to go back to Philly and be with Embiid. I really do.
I mean, Embiid wasn't the problem. It was Ben.
Yeah, Embiid has said multiple times that he wishes they had kept Jimmy instead of Ben because Ben had to have the ball in his hands to be effective.
I think if he requests a trade, because James Harden originally was supposed to go to the Heat from when he went to the Nets. So he was supposed to go from the Rockets to the Heat. That was the original deal. It was supposed to be like a trade for Tyler Hero and Victor, I'm pretty sure. Which I'm glad they kept Tyler. I think Tyler will be a great player the more he develops.
Yeah.
So I could maybe a James Harden for Jimmy Butler deal, because Embiid does not like playing with James Harden.
You think he doesn't like playing with James Harden, or he doesn't like playing with James Harden right now?
I just don't think he likes playing with James Harden. James Harden's not going to score 30 points a game with the 76ers like they expect him to do. That's Joel Embiid's job.
Do you think if Joel knew this was how James Harden was going to play, do you think he would have tried harder to get get Ben Simmons to get mentally right to come back?
No, I don't think Joel gave up on Ben. I think the 76ers and the fans gave up on Ben. And I think Ben gave up on himself.
I mean, I really agree with what Stephen A. Smith has said. He goes, Ben Simmons is LeBron 2.0 if he could have an average jump shot.
And his jump shot's not bad. He doesn't shoot them in games.
You look at Ben Simmons has a really pure form.
Him and LeBron shoot the exact same.
I'm going to leave it at that. But
Alright, with our next segment, we're going to talk about the worst takes we've ever heard about NBA. So, number one is our own Wyatt Olson. He said Luka Doncic is trash. Wyatt, explain, Wyatt.
Okay, so in further conversation with my colleagues here, I don't think trash is the right word. I can't think of the word because Luka. I don't think like Luka has said recently. He's like, I'm only 23. I'm still learning how to play this high of a level, right? If Luka could learn to play with some effort and real want to on ball defense, like when somebody tries to post him up, right, or run somebody off the 3-point line, then Luka can absolutely, for sure, be top 5 all time when it's all said and done after his career. But I think Luka is also going to have a tough time winning anything if, like, the argument of, okay, does he have to play defense to win? Well, obviously he's gotten to the Western Conference Finals, so that's kind of gone back and forth. But if he really wants to win, he's going to have to really put the effort into playing defense.
So you're basically saying he's just a one-sided guy.
I right now, yes, because I think he's so young and he's still, like you said, he's still learning.
I mean, I can see that because Luka doesn't really play defense. There's sometimes he will put in the effort to try to, but there's so many times I see a guy just easily blow by him, or he gets out of the way of a post up. Like, he's big enough to where he can handle post players.
Exactly, that's my point. Like, he's the same size as Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, yet he plays with.
I bet he weighs more than them.
Say, I bet Luka weighs what, like 230?
Probably. He's a big dude.
Yeah. Imagine if Luka would also put the time in the weight room too.
Yeah, because he's kind of fat.
I mean, he just doesn't have the real physique.
He almost has just a beer gut.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think? Like, do you think Luka, not trash, but do you think he definitely needs to step it up on the defensive end if he wants to win?
Yes, because I think the better way is he doesn't know his own potential.
Why hole?
I wouldn't say he has to play intensively more defense to win. He's proven that he can win series by scoring a lot and playing defense the best he can. And I mean, the team around him, they can all play defense pretty well, I think.
Yeah.
But Luka on the offensive end of the floor, he's proven that he can win series. But if Dallas wants to use his size to an advantage in the post, like me and Ian were talking about it, and we said that he could probably guard Draymond, put Luka on Draymond, and have the team around him guard the faster people. Then they would succeed in the series way more than they have.
Honestly, I like that idea, but then that means whoever's guarding Curry has absolutely no doubt about it, has to get through a ball screen, can't switch a handoff, can't switch anything because Luka's not fast enough to keep up with Curry.
No, that means guys like Dorian Finney-Smith
And Jalen Brunson.
Brunson, Ntilikina would have to literally, like you said, beat, drop every screen, get through it, run through the screener, all of it.
I think guarding Curry has to be like the hardest assignment in the NBA.
Men be running marathons.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's crazy that he has that much. If you just watch a game, it's crazy that Curry has that much energy at 30, 33, 32.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, like, LeBron's doing crazy things at 37, but he's not running around like that.
No.
And I think Curry can continue to do that for deep into his career.
Right.
Which, if he does, I think Curry's definitely the hardest assignment in the NBA.
I think that's why Curry's been so good for so long. Is he's had that level of conditioning for that long.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. He has enough energy to run like that, come off screens, cut baseline constantly, and still has enough legs and arms to pull 50-footers, 40-footers. That's crazy.
It's effortless for him.
He's had to do that for like his entire career because he's always been the literal littler guy. So he's always had to use his speed and stamina to an advantage to get open and create his own shot.
Yeah, I think he figured it out at a young age at Davidson. Like, this is what I have to do if I want to be successful. So, now, talking about defense, I think this takes us to our next topic, our next take. Tate said that NBA players don't get paid to play defense. I mean, I don't agree because I look at guys like Kawhi Leonard, who great offensively, great defensively. I feel like you should have to play some type of defense to be a great all-time NBA player. Look at if we look at our top fives, right? Every player in that can play defense.
All-time, they mix all defensive teams.
Yeah,
like that.
Like Michael Jordan has won Defensive Player of the Year, been on numerous all-defensive teams. LeBron, he's a great defender, never got the Defensive Player of the Year award, but probably deserved it one year. Yeah, he can guard anybody. And then Kareem, great post defender. Magic can definitely play defense. And who's my fifth? Larry Bird, he can guard anybody. So even your top 10 is guys who can play defense, but I think defense was more of a factor in the 90s and early 2000s than it is now.
What do you mean? What do you mean factor? Like it's more important? It was more important back then than it is now.
Yeah, I think guys rely more on offense now, and I think maybe they don't get paid to play offense, but that's just how the game looks. Because, like, some of the biggest scorers in the league, like we'll take Curry for example, isn't the best defender, but he puts the effort to defend.
I mean, we just witnessed Steph strip Ja Morant twice in clutch situations.
Yeah, I mean, I think Curry has made all defensive team, the second team. I think that's right. I think it was in like 20. I think it was his MVP. It might have been his MVP year. Hold on, I'm gonna look at that real quick. Y'all can discuss whether y'all think players get paid to play defense.
What you think, Whitehall?
Defense wins championships. I know we were talking about how Luka, he can go blow for someone and win, but that's not the player individually. As a team, you have to have good defense in order to succeed. Like, look at the Celtics. I know I'm talking about my own team here, but they're the best defensive team in the league. We picked up Al Horford, who can guard big men. We have Robert Williams, who can guard people. Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, Marcus Smart won Defensive Player of the Year this year. And look how far we've gone compared to previous years. Defense is the sole reason teams succeed.
And like we talk about, like with Luka, we talk about Luka not knowing his full potential yet. You just got to put the effort in to do it, right? You can not be good at something as long as you put the effort into it. People would recognize it and wouldn't be as harsh on somebody, right? Can we agree on that?
Okay, I'm sorry. Curry has not been on an all-division team. He was considered for the second team in 2016. But this year, he has had his most efficient defensive year, like his highest defensive rating this season.
I can see that.
So, obviously, you have to play some type of defense.
Right. And that's what we were talking about. Like, with Trae Young, if Trae wasn't an amazing on-ball defender, if he would at least try to take charges or stuff like that, I could be a little less harsh on him.
I mean, he doesn't. I mean, look at guys like James Harden. How much success has James Harden hasn't had in his career? Okay, this is a better take. I'm saying team-wise, team success-wise, how much success does James Harden have?
Not much.
No rings. I mean,
Still a 3-1 lead.
Yeah. So this makes more sense. To be the top player on a team, to be able to lead a team to a finals, I think you have to have some type of defensive presence and a great offensive presence. I mean, am I wrong?
I think we can name so many championship teams that have had all of that.
Okay, we'll look at last year. Giannis, Drew Holiday, PJ Tucker, all great defenders, right?
Middleton, solid too.
All right, we keep going back. The Lakers, LeBron's a great defender. AD's a good defender. Danny Green's a good defender.
Yeah. KCP.
KCP is a great defender.
KCP's very underrated.
We go to the Raptors. Kawhi, Kyle Lowry can play on ball. Yeah, Marc Gasol, Siakam.
Danny Green again.
Yeah. Warriors, obviously. Yeah, Ibaka. I forget about him. He was a great piece. We go back to the Warriors, their last ring. I mean, Kevin Durant can play decent deep enough to win championships, obviously. Klay Thompson's a great defender. Curry he does as much as he can. I mean...
And obviously Draymond is Draymond.
Yeah, and the year before that, same Warriors team. And then the Cavs, LeBron's a great defender. Kyrie was playing good defense on Curry for the last 3 games.
Like, even guys like J.R. Smith and Ivan Shumpert were at least
Kevin Love.
Good 3 NBA guys. Yeah, Kevin Love was still good.
Yeah, and then you go back to that Warriors team. And then for that, Spurs are one of the greatest defensive teams of all time. Nobody was scoring on Tim Duncan.
Tony Parker was good.
Ginobili, Kawhi.
Kawhi Leonard, Danny Green. Yeah.
You go back, and the Miami Heat team. Yeah, Miami Heat team. Dwayne Wade's a great defender. LeBron.
Bosh.
Chris Bosh. Haslam was still playing great. Ray Allen's still a good defender. Battier.
I just think this, I think just this notion that guys can get away with playing no defense isn't right.
I don't think you can win a championship as a star of a team without playing at least half decent defense. Luka's literally letting guys just drive by him.
Right, and I told Wyatt this earlier. I said, if you played with the real effort, people would notice it a lot more than if you played with no effort at all.
Wait, say it again.
If you really tried to put the effort in to play good defense, like if you really tried to move your feet and wall somebody off, but you say you still got a foul called on you, or they still somehow got around you, at least you made the effort to.
Yeah, I think more people noticed you, more people who noticed you playing bad defense than you playing good defense.
Yeah.
Because you get a stop, okay, great. You're in the NBA, you're supposed to be able to get a stop. You get blown by consistently, terrible. You're in the NBA. And Luka, I think it puts the centers in a really bad position. That's Warriors score a lot of their points off blow by from Luka, and then they dish it off because Dwight Powell, Bullock, they'll slide over and try to help. And they can't do anything. I seen that happen 4 times in the third quarter of Game 2. That's just it's terrible. So I think if the Mavs want to come back, Luka has to step it up. He has a day to do it.
Yeah. And I told Tate, I made Tate argument.
Go ahead, Wyatt.
Go ahead, Wyatt.
I was gonna say one thing to add to the NBA players don't get paid to play defense. Then look at Pat Bev. One of the person who literally gets paid solely for defense.
That's the only reason he's in the league.
He went against people like Harden, and yeah, he still got scored on, but he was there and he was getting broken and everything because he was hustling. The players on defense who get like their ankle snatched are the people who hustle the most. So Pat Bev, he gets scored on a lot, but he's also, as soon as he gets scored on, he's right back up in your face, putting a hand up.
They don't face him. That's a great defender.
Yeah, and to piggyback off that, I remember Kobe Bryant talking in interviews like, who's one of your favorite players to ever play against? And he mentioned Tony Allen because he said no matter how many times I would get by him or score on him, I know I'd have to face Tony Allen every time down the floor.
Tony Allen was an elite defender. He was crazy. Probably, arguably, not even arguably, he's probably top 3 defensive player all time.
Tony Allen was ridiculous.
That's why he was in the league. He can. That's why exactly. That's why he was in the league. Mm-hmm. He was in the league to play defense. So I think players do get paid to play defense, and I think obviously Luka's getting paid to play offense, but I think if the Mavs want success, he has to play. I think he has to play defense. It makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, next. Hold on. All right. I think next we should talk about, this one's a 2-parter. We got Derek Doan said that on our, 3 episodes ago, we talked about, 3 episodes ago, we discussed.
We talked about greatest duos.
Yeah, we discussed our greatest duos of all time. And Derek disagreed and said that, did he say that Stoudemire and Nash should be over Russ and KD?
Yes.
Okay.
He said Nash and Stoudemire are undoubtedly a top 15 duo.
I think that's crazy. What did Nash and Stoudemire do that KD and Russ didn't?
I mean, they were just good. They were literally just good in the pick and roll.
They were a good season team. They never made it to the finals. Granted, they played a really good Spurs team, but they didn't make it to the finals.
No. And they got whooped by the Spurs team.
That right there should be like, okay, they can't be a greatest duo because they didn't even. I'm pretty sure every duo we listed at least made it to the finals, if not won it. We only had 2 duos who've never won a ring, and it was Malone and Stockton and Russ and KD. Russ and KD made it to the finals and they were 23 and 22.
Right.
No, that's a terrible take. There's no argument.
I don't even know that I put them in the top pick and roll duos of all time.
There's literally no argument you can make that puts them in the top 15. There's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
If you say, okay, Nash is a better point guard than Russ, that's not the argument. And I don't even think that. Maybe better pure point guard than Russ, but in the position, no.
No.
So I think that's just a terrible take. He also said that Clay's a top 5 shooting guard all time. I think that's crazy.
So who did we say were our top 5 shooting guards of all time?
My top 5 was top 3. Everybody's was the same. okay, the top three everybody's the same. Everybody had AI. So MJ, Kobe, D Wade. I had Clyde, and so did you and Caden, I believe.
Yes.
And then Wyatt had James Harden over Clyde. But everybody had MJ, Kobe, D Wade, and AI somewhere in 4 or 5. Clay's not better than Clyde. Clay's.
The two different players. Clyde is the more well-rounded offensive guy.
Okay, to be considered a great shooting guard, I think you have to be able to do more than catch and shoot. You have to be able to create your own shot. Obviously, Clay's gotten better at it, but he's still not there yet.
No.
He's not better at that than James Harden, which was Derek's main point to me, was saying he's a better shooting guard than James Harden.
James Harden can create a shot from anywhere. He can get to the bucket. He can get a pull-up. He can dribble. I'm not saying Clay can't, but just not better than. That's not his game. I think if we're saying Reggie Miller's shooting guard, I think Reggie Miller's a better shooting guard than Klay Thompson.
I would agree.
I'd say Clay's top 10. If he's top 10, I think we said he would be like 9 or 10. So,
Derek said he was like 7 or 8.
Well, I thought he said if he's on your list, then he's 5. Because you said Harden.
Yeah, that's what his point was. He said if James Harden is number 5, then Klay Thompson should be number 4, and if that was the case,
that's crazy.
So basically saying Klay is a better shooting guard than Harden.
Hold on, let me look here real quick. James Harden.
Wyatt, what do you think about all of it? Do you think Klay Thompson's a better all-time shooting guard than Harden?
No, but I don't think. Okay, so if I have Clyde at 5, or Clyde or AI at 5, give or take, it doesn't really matter. I'd probably put James at 6.
To be honest, I'm probably putting Reggie over James Harden. If we're saying Reggie's a 2, if we're saying he's a 3, then I'm gonna put James Harden. But if we're saying Reggie's a 2, I'm putting Reggie over James.
Didn't Reggie make the finals and just didn't win?
I believe so. I think. I know, like, the East battles were him and Jordan at one point in the regular season. Yeah, in playoffs, I think, maybe.
I just remember 98 was the year that was obviously the last dance, and the Pacers at that time thought they were the next dynasty up.
Well, they were really good the year that the Malice at the Palace happened, and the Malice at the Palace really screwed them.
Yeah,
because they lost their best players for like 10 games.
What was that? Was Steven Jackson?
Jermaine O'Neal.
There was one other guy.
Was Wallace on the team? No.
No.
There was one more key guy. All right, hold on. Hold on.
Ron Artest.
Ron Artest was in his.
Yeah,
Ron Artest was great for the Pacers.
Ron Artest has been good for every team he's ever played for.
I
swore there was one guy, another guy that was on that documentary.
Yeah, they went to the finals in 2000. That's the year the Pacers went to the finals.
Okay, so
and they got
Steven Jackson for a minute.
They lost in 6.
Lost in 6. Okay.
So I think Reggie is better than James. If we're saying he's a 2.
Right. So, in the mouths of the Palace, Ron Artest was suspended for the remainder of the season, which being a total of 86 games, including the playoffs. Steven Jackson, Jermaine O'Neal, Ben Wallace, and Anthony Johnson would all receive suspensions ranging from 5 to 30 games. Players lost a cumulative of $11 million in salary.
That's wild.
Have you ever watched that documentary just about that?
Yeah, it's really good.
It's crazy that they were literally considering bringing criminal charges against them.
All right. Klay Thompson's career stats: 19.5 points, 2.3 assists.
20 points a game? He's not 20 points a game?
No, his career.
Wow.
19 and a half, so if you want to round up, 20.
Okay.
Then he has 2.3 assists and total 3.5 rebounds. He's like 6'8". How you not getting more rebounds?
He's 6'7", 6'8", yeah.
James
That's
Harden.
a big 2 guard.
James Harden career stats. Hold on. 25 points a game. 6.8 steals, so basically 7, and 5.6 rebounds. Shooting guard is there to shoot the ball and score. James Harden has got him beat by 7 points.
Yeah.
That's a big margin in the NBA.
Yeah. Isn't it funny how, like, when basketball kind of started, or like when we were young, we were always taught that the point guard controls everything. They're supposed to pass it to the shooting guard, and they're the ones supposed to do the majority of the scoring.
Yeah, but now it's really the opposite.
Yeah.
So, Derek Dome, your takes are wrong. I'm sorry. We can bring you on, you can talk about it, but they're wrong. Alright, next. I think I'm going to save this one for last.
How
Alright.
many more we got of these?
We got 4. Jason Castro said that Jayson Tatum will never win a finals in his career and will never win an MVP. Jayson Tatum is on the verge of going to the finals right now.
He is.
And the Celtics are such a good team and so physical that they can definitely beat the Mavericks. And they have a really good chance to beat the Warriors. I think the Celtics are too good for the Warriors to guard. They're struggling. Yeah. They're struggling to beat the Mavs. I mean, the Mavs have beat them by 20. They had a 20-point lead, but ended up losing by 9. And they're struggling to guard Luka. They're going to struggle to guard Jason, Marcus. Who's Curry going to guard?
Definitely not Jayson Tatum.
Definitely not Jalen Brown. You can't guard Marcus.
Marcus just bullies.
He's not going to guard a center. What'd you say?
I said Marcus will guard Curry the best he can, and on ball screens, you have Jalen there at the 2, ready to come over and switch, and he can. I like to think that Jaylen Brown could keep up with Curry on a ball switch.
Yeah,
I would think so too.
So, I think Jayson Tatum has a real shot at winning a championship this year. I think whoever comes out of the East is winning it.
I do too. I've thought that for a while.
Yeah,
I think it's way better than the West this year.
Yeah, I think it's the Heat or Celtics are going to win the finals this year.
So, if he wins it this year, how many more do you think he can get if he stays with the Celtics?
I think the Celtics.
You know, whenever he gets his contract up, the Celtics are going to pay him whatever he wants.
Yeah.
I say they could win if they keep the same pieces and everybody stays healthy. If it's perfect, I think they win another one next year. I think they go back to back maybe. That's if they make it out of the Eastern Conference Finals, obviously.
Hell, they might have a chance for a 3-peat that is if Al Horford stays healthy and doesn't retire. Because how old is he?
30,
like 37,
36,
35, 36.
Because we talked about him. We talked about him.
Al's one of those guys that is just consistent. I think you know he's going to show up every night.
Yeah, I 3P is a crazy prediction for a team that hasn't even won the finals yet. I think if they win the finals, it's going to be a lot easier to predict. But if they win, they have a really good chance at being a dynasty because I think Jalen and Jayson are a really unstoppable duo.
Granted, for Jayson, he did say this before this playoffs. He didn't have the Celtics making out of the first round. He didn't have Tatum doing really anything in his career, and he also said Tatum won't do anything in his career worthy of Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I think they've, like I said, whoever makes it out of the East is winning. So if that's the Celtics, and the Celtics are going to win the championship this year. So that's obviously wrong. And Jayson Tatum's 23 or 24? 24? He's young. He can definitely win an MVP in the next coming year. You don't think who's going to be getting old and who's going to be retiring soon. In 3 years, Jayson Tatum's going to be in the middle of his prime. And man, this isn't even his prime yet.
If he wins the finals this year, I think he has a real good argument to be the face of the NBA for the next 10 years.
I mean, think about it. Okay.
Yeah.
So LeBron's 37, right?
Yeah.
In 3 years, LeBron's going to be out of the league probably. We'll say 4. We'll say 4 years, LeBron's probably out of the league. I say he plays at 41. Yeah, I think that's a good take. LeBron's probably out of the league in 4 years.
How long until KD leaves? Because that was his main argument. Tatum won't win the MVP with KD in the league.
KD's not going to win. I guarantee you, KD's probably not going to win another MVP in his career.
I don't think so either.
So, KD's 33, right?
Yeah.
4 years. He's 33. 4 years. He's going to be old. 37. And he's injury prone at this point.
He is very injury prone. And when he gets hurt, he's out for a long period of time.
We've already seen. Yeah. I mean, I hate saying Russell Westbrook's on the decline, but he is. Not physically or athletically, but just skill-wise. I think he's had a bad year. I think he can bounce back. But if he doesn't, then I can officially say he's on the decline. And he's 33. So he'll be 30. Curry's 33.
But Curry's also very, very steady. He's 33 and, like we said earlier, running circles around people, still hitting his three.
Okay, but I don't think he can win an MVP over Jayson Tatum in the next 4 years. You gotta think the Celtics are still gonna be good.
Especially if he wants to win the Celtics. Yeah.
The Warriors, Draymond, Klay Thompson's pretty injury prone at this point.
But Klay's just consistent.
But in 4 years, is that Warriors team still going to be able to work? I think the game will change way too much.
I don't think so. I think physically they'll be out of it.
The small ball lineup's not going to work in 4 years because we have too many 7-foot point guards coming in.
Yeah, too many big guys are facilitating.
Yeah, look at Cade Cunningham. He's 6'8". And he's
Cade's got the potential to be special with that size.
Yeah, LaMelo's 6'8".
Yeah.
I mean, think about all these
prodigy.
Yeah, think about all these foreign players that are coming in also who are giant and can run point guard. Luka was the first. Giannis, he's 7 foot tall and doing this.
Embiid's a good passer. Had one of his best. I think
Jokic,
his best year ever.
I mean, how old is Jokic right now? Jokic is what, 29?
26.
Oh, he's that young?
Jokic is 26. Yeah.
I didn't think he was that young. I thought he was like 28.
Yeah.
I think him and Jayson Tatum can compete for the MVP in the next 4 years.
Yeah.
Jayson Tatum had an MVP caliber season this year, but because of how bad the Celtics were at the beginning of the season, I mean, he didn't really I wouldn't say any of them were producing as much as they are post All-Star break.
And this is another way.
Whereas Jokic was.
No, go ahead.
Well, that was it. Jokic was. Consistent throughout the entire season.
You gotta think about this. Like, in 4 years, the Thunder are probably gonna be at the top of the West because of how much young talent they bring in, right? So all these teams that are at the top of the West right now, the Warriors, the Jazz definitely won't be there. They're gonna blow the team up. They're gonna blow up this year.
They're about to blow it up. I think their son's about to blow it up too.
Yeah. The only teams that are still going to be great, I think, in the next 4 years in the West, that are top of the West now, is probably the Timberwolves will get better.
Denver.
It depends on Jamal and MPJ.
If Denver can stay healthy.
Okay, so for sure, Timberwolves will get better. I think the Grizzlies will get better, way better.
Yes, no question.
I just think the Warriors will depend. I think Draymond's gonna in 4 years. You think Draymond's still gonna be able to do all this?
No.
Yeah, I don't see it. So really, there's really two teams that I think will just continue to get better instead of decline.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, 3 if Denver can stay healthy. Because Jamal's in his 20s. He's like 26 also. 25. MPJ is like 20, 19, something like that.
Yes. We've seen glimpses of MPJ.
He could be great. He could be so good.
I know MPJ has shown shades of. I know this is going to sound outrageous, but he showed shades of Kevin Durant and Larry Bird, the 6'10" that can shoot over anybody.
See, and that's what I'm saying. He's a shooting guard.
It's crazy how this game has evolved, is it not?
So the Warriors aren't going to work in the next 4 years because small ball is not going to work.
I think small ball. It's interesting. I posted on Snapchat a couple weeks ago about how the center position is kind of going away except for the elite guys, Cat, Joel.
Well, those guys
Giannis.
can also shoot the 3. Cat can shoot the 3 crazily well for a center.
And that's my point. And like they can every one of them guys can switch on guards.
That's what I'm saying. So I think in the next 4 years, the Celtics have a real chance to continue to be good, and Jayson Tatum can win an MVP. Mm-hmm. He could probably win 2, or crazily saying 3 in his career.
I think before he retires, he'll win 2.
Yeah, Jayson Tatum's gonna be special. He already is. He's gonna just keep getting better.
I mean, he's ever since he was in the league, he's been drawing comparisons to be the next Kevin Durant of the league.
That's what I said. I said he reminded me just like Kevin Durant.
Yeah, he's crazy, and Jaylen Brown's gonna keep getting better. It's crazy if you look at Jaylen Brown's ball handling ability from even last year, but 2 years ago to now. 2 years ago, the guy could not dribble worth anything, and now he's crazy getting to the bucket.
Is this crazy to think that Jaylen Brown reminds me a lot of Tracy McGrady?
Yeah, I can see that. Or Penny.
Well, I can see he got some shades of Penny, sure.
I think Jason reminds me of Penny.
Yeah. Honestly, I know they're not maybe the same dunker, but in terms of athleticism and real offensive skill-wise, he reminds me a lot of Vince Carter, prime Vince Carter.
I could see that. I could really see that. I think the player that plays most like Kobe in the league is Jayson Tatum.
I never thought about that way. That's a good one.
Because it used to be Devin Booker, I think. I think Devin Booker used to hold that spot. Probably.
I was convinced by that.
I'd say his career to the bubble, and then even not last year, but this year really killed that. I think Jayson Tatum is really taking over that.
Yeah.
So.
Jayson Tatum's taking over this year.
He what?
He's taken over this year.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He's shown the league that
I say this is his coming out party.
This is him showing that he's gonna be the face of the NBA for the future.
All right. What we got here next is these last 3 are probably some of the worst 3 takes I've ever heard in my life. So I guess we'll just hop right into it. I think we're going to start with this one. Ian Guthrie said that Larry Bird is not top 5. He's not even top 10. He said that he is 12 and that he has Kevin Durant 11 ahead of him. I don't even have much to say. Just go listen to our episode about his Larry Bird top 5. That's proof
I
enough.
was just about to say the same thing.
Just some facts about Larry Bird. Let's just top of my head. When he joined the Celtics, they weren't great. They weren't good. He added 32 wins to their record in his rookie season. That's crazy. That's the most in history.
Wasn't there a stat that he was in top MVP voting every year?
Yeah.
Except for one.
Yeah.
It was like 8 out of the 9 years. Him and Magic.
And that was the one year where he was like hurt the entire year.
It was the back injury year, yeah. I think it was like 89-90 season.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin,
I don't know what else to say to that.
KD has 2 rings and MVP, don't get me wrong, but this is a real question. Obviously, KD was the best player on that Warriors team. But do the Warriors still have a chance to win without KD? Do they still make it to the finals without KD?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the Warriors definitely win the 2017-2018 finals without KD, the year Kyrie left.
No, Kyrie was there that year.
No,
he was there 2016, 2017, the first time.
Kyrie wasn't there the second year of KD. Because that was when LeBron
he was there the first year.
That was when LeBron just blew through the East by himself.
Yes.
So, obviously KD averaged like 38 points a game in the finals when they swept. That's crazy stats. But I think the Warriors are they're not as good without KD, but they still are a great team that can win the finals and could definitely probably win the finals without KD. So I don't want to say KD didn't earn his rings because he obviously played well to get them. But with or without him, I think the Warriors are still winning.
Yeah.
Larry Bird carried for the majority of his career.
About to say Larry earned every one of them.
Obviously, he had Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, is that right?
Parrish.
And Bill Walton. But Larry was putting up crazy numbers, and he didn't have all 3 of them for his whole career when he was winning.
Nope.
He didn't have them his rookie year when he brought 32 wins to the franchise, 32 plus wins. They were 26 and like, what did I say? They were like
26 and 56.
I think it was that. And then he leads them to 32 more wins. That's wild.
Yeah.
He could also play defense really well.
Yeah, he's definitely a better defender than KD. Now,
no question.
Now, one-on-one, it's hard to say that KD's going to lose.
Yeah, he got the length advantage.
I mean, he's 7'1" compared to Larry Bird's 6'8". Is that what we're saying? Larry Bird is 6'8"?
6'8", 6'9", something like that. Yeah.
So it's hard to say KD would lose.
Yeah, I mentioned this a couple of times when we talk about like one-on-one games. He'd be the first to miss twice.
Yeah.
First to miss twice to lose.
So, but we're not even talking about all-time NBA player. Larry Bird's miles ahead of KD right now.
Yes.
I think for KD to pass Larry Bird, he has to earn another championship and probably another scoring title.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would put him above Larry Bird.
It's hard to say that even that would, because Larry Bird stayed with that team. He didn't leave to go to a team like the Lakers where they already had superstars.
The Warriors.
He stayed with them. Yeah, KD went from the Thunder to the Warriors, who had Curry and prime Curry, MVP winning Curry,
unanimous Curry,
Klay Thompson, and young Draymond Green. That was just unstoppable.
And they still had Iguodala.
After that, they signed DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah. Obviously, he didn't play in the finals though.
No. But even just having Boogie there for the most of the season as big.
Yeah.
They had Sean Livingston and Iguodala at that time too, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
We
all know that.
That's a stack. That's crazy. I can't believe there was a time in the NBA where that happened. It just sounds fake. Like, if you went back to 2013, you told me that KD, Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, all these guys are going to be on the same team, I wouldn't believe you.
No, I wouldn't either.
That's like something you make on a 2K roster to go 82-0. Like, I probably made that team at one point when I was like 13. Probably younger than that. So, no.
They did go 82. 9 games, what were they? Oh, they didn't have KD whenever they went 72-9, did they?
Mm-mm. That was the year they went 3-1.
Yeah.
And that's crazy in itself. Without KD, they went 72-9.
73.
They had a
73 and 9.
better record without KD.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I think that just puts Larry Bird over him by miles. So who said that? Ian, go back and listen to the episode. You got a bad take. I didn't think you'd have any bad takes, but you made the list.
After I saw that he put Larry Bird in 12, I asked him, why is Larry Bird not even top 10? And whenever he has Magic up there, like at 4, whenever Bird and Magic went head and head, and it was like Magic it was like 60-40 Magic winning, which is just crazy because that's Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
And he said that he based his list by how he liked how they like people that like the way that they play their play style. That's what he based his list on.
That's wild. Okay. Should we do the Chris Paul take or the Kobe take first? Which one's worse?
Kobe's definitely worse.
Worse?
Yeah.
All right. That was anything. Yeah. So we're gonna do the CP3 take first. Owen Knapp. What?
Owen Knapp. I would say Owen Knapp.
Owen Knapp said that Chris Paul is number 2 all time on point guard list. There's nothing.
Go listen to the last episode.
There's nothing to even say.
He's really not. I know I kept saying he was, but he's not. It's just not.
As soon as he said that on the phone, because we were arguing, I was like, Chris Paul at this point needs to retire because he's ruining his reputation. And he's like, Chris Paul's the top 2 point guard all time. I was just like, and I just hung up on him. I didn't even say a word. I just hung up.
What is the argument? There's no argument.
He texted me and was like, I made a mistake.
There's literally no argument you can make to even put Chris Paul top 3 all time. Or top 5. What has he done? What? Blown 2-0 leads. And 3-1 leads. Let's see, hold on. Let's go back to that episode. So,
I mean, he's 10 in assists.
So if he's number 2 all time, he's better than Curry. How is Chris Paul better than Curry?
He's not.
Okay, pure point guard, I say Chris Paul's the best all time.
Agreed.
Passing and just basketball IQ wise, he's the best pure point guard. And I say Steve Nash is up there as well. But
behind LeBron, Chris Paul.
What'd you say?
Behind LeBron, Chris Paul is probably the smartest player in basketball history.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just like.
Okay, so if he's top 2, if he's 2, he's better than Curry. He's better than Isaiah Thomas. I know that some of us didn't have Russ in our top 5, but it means he's better than Russ. He's better than Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Paul's not better than any of those guys. I'm sorry. I think if you put Russell Westbrook on the Suns, I think he plays better than Chris Paul.
I do too.
At At least in that series.
Yeah.
Paul did not play good.
No. Chris, there's nothing else to say. Chris Paul's not even top 5. He's probably, if he's top 10, he's 8.
Steve Nash. I put Steve Nash higher.
I put John Stockton higher. Yeah, he's 8. All right. Last take of the night. One of the worst I've ever heard. Unknown source says that Kobe is number 2 all time.
No. R.I.P. Kobe, but no.
Not even top 5. Like, you can't make an argument that he's better than LeBron, Kareem, Magic. You can't make that argument.
Okay, Kobe has 5 rings and 1 MVP. I get that. Great accomplishments.
Number 2 was top 5 all-time scorer.
Was.
But he also has the most shots missed. He also has the most missed shots in NBA history.
People say Shaq was carried by Kobe. I think Kobe was carried by Shaq. That's a hot take.
I think it can go either way. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
And if
But look.
If you're
In the era that Kobe and Shaq were together, who won a ring without each other first? Shaq. Kobe didn't win another one.
Yeah.
Kobe didn't win another one until 2010.
Yeah.
It's a completely different era by that time. So, all time, who's higher on your list, Kobe or Shaq?
Shaq.
It's Shaq. Shaq is 6 for me.
Shaq's 7 for me.
And if you're basing Kobe's position based on his accolades, then you have to put Tim Duncan above Kobe. I think Tim Duncan has how many MVPs does he have?
2 or 3?
I think.
3 at the most.
Well, he has more MVPs. More MVPs, same amount of rings, and Tim Duncan played less time than Kobe did. Am I wrong?
Yeah,
He spent less time in the league.
maybe by 1 year. Because Kobe played for, I don't know. No, Tim played for like 20 seasons, didn't he? And Kobe played for 18?
Yeah. No.
Or was it the opposite?
No, Kobe was drafted in 99.
96.
96.
Yeah, 96.
And didn't retire until 2016.
So 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years.
Tim Duncan was drafted in 99, right?
Yes.
And played
Tim
until...
Duncan won 2 MVPs back-to-back.
And he played until 2015, so... Yeah, less time. That's like 18 years.
Yeah.
So, for this unknown person who probably doesn't even listen to my podcast, you should listen. Trust me, I'd change your mind, but Kobe's not number 2. He's not top 5. On my list, he's 8. So, yeah, I think we should just end with that.
Right.
So, thank you, both Wyatts, for being great guests and being on the show. Love having y'all on here. Y'all are my consistent guest. But for the Foul Line, I'm Connor Black. See you later.